0 for 7 from three-point range. Did not shoot a free throw. If you're Northwestern, your best players have to play well to beat good teams. That's Lindsey and Bryant McIntosh. We'll see how they do tonight.
Playing ball here at All-State Arena in Rosemont. Ohio State will control the first possession. Lamont Simpson, Pat Driscoll, Donnie Epley are three officials tonight. Northwestern is actually, despite their poor year at 11-8, they played well here in this venue. They're 9-2. Northwestern is in desperate need of a reset. Thought they got one against Minnesota, which was their last home game here, but then got throttled against the Hoosiers on Sunday on national television. Into the corner it goes, and it's Gavin Skelly who's back in the starting lineup, and he delivers the first score for the Cats.
So you're going to see Northwestern in a 2-2-1 full court press, falling back to the 2-3 zone. First of all, because they were having trouble stopping dribble penetration, but also Chris Collins just wanting to change things up a little bit. Something's not working. Try something different, maybe get your kids interested.
So we've seen Aaron Falzone in the starting lineup recently for the Wildcats, but it is Skelly who goes tonight, working inside. Wesson misses close range, hounded by Pardon. The double team comes, and now wide open C.J. Jackson, no. And it's Bates Diop who comes away with a board, but he travels, and it'll be Northwestern ball. Chris Collins now in his 5th year. That great run last season, and he is putting all of that behind him. 30 pounds lighter is Chris Collins. He's back to his playing weight, and he'd like to see his team get back.
The skills in his young head coaching career are certainly being challenged. The hangover from making the tournament last year. His team just hasn't played nearly with that same edge and that same connectedness and sense of purpose.
Well, last year they were 18-4 to start the year. A one and done for Ohio State. This year, Northwestern at 2-4. Their wins in conference play coming against Minnesota and Illinois. That game against Illinois back in December. Nice pass from
the year. Not only the job that he's done, Brian, but of course the circumstances that he took over the job in June. Highly unusual, highly challenging, but gosh, they're playing great basketball.
Vic Law knocks it down. Nice setup there from Scotty Lindsey as well.
When I talked to Chris Collins today, Brian, he really talked about the importance of getting off early and making a couple of shots. So Law and Skelly seeing that ball go in the basket, maybe put a little bounce in their step.
Williams passes it up. Lindsey closes, and now Lindsey with a little teardrop. That's how
he can do tonight is attack the rim and get to the line.
Well, Lindsey already with a couple of assists. Jayshawn Tate gets stuck. Ohio State getting deep into the clock again, looking for their first score of the game. And Keita Bates Diop off the window. He has a wide array of tools in the shed, does Keita Bates Diop.
And unlike a lot of players in college basketball, Brian, Bates Diop is really good at making mid-range jumpers. That's going to be a great weapon against that zone tonight.
Ball's moving well for the Cats. Here's Lindsey, and a little teardrop goes. And as you know, if you follow Northwestern, if Lindsey gets off to a good start, and it sometimes boils down to making his first shot, he can have a big day. Northwestern certainly needing that. The Cats have not missed 3 for 3 to start the game. Jackson with Tate on the cut. And Tate gets that one to go. Jayshawn Tate coming off 6 points, 5 rebounds, but 5 fouls. Didn't play much in Ohio State's win on Sunday at Rutgers. That was a 22-point win against Rutgers to improve to 6-0 in Big Ten Conference play. McIntosh on the drive, has it blocked by Wesson.
Should have dropped it to Pardon.
Jackson, bounce pass to Tate, and Skelly meets him at the...
You mentioned his left, so really has been kind of a perfect storm for North. When those shots go in, maybe they realize they can win this thing and stick through it.
Couple of free throws for Jayshawn Tate. Ohio State started by missing their first 5. Had it more organized now. Up and under goes Law. Cannot finish at the rim.
So he didn't finish, but I like that he attacked the basket. Ohio State's going to want to penetrate this zone as much as possible with Diop and Wesson. And of course, Tate's a great zone buster on the high post.
Tate guarded by Skelly. And a tough matchup there. Skelly standing tall. That zone is interesting for Ohio State here tonight. They are a very good shooting team. Skelly, pretty off the window, fired one off the back of the glass.
Yeah, he's giving them a nice lift being in the starting lineup.
Skelly averaging a little over 6.5 points per game, gets about 22 minutes a game. He's been a lights-out three-point shooter himself. Ohio State from behind the arc shooting at 38% as a team this year. They do have a couple of black holes from behind the arc. Bates Diop is not one of them, but he misses on his first opportunity. Bates Diop up over 40%. Northwestern already 4 field goals made, 4 assists on those 4 field goals. Brian McIntosh had that 16-assist game last time on this floor against Minnesota, set a Northwestern program record. And they're looking for the hot hand, and that is Gavin Skelly to start this one.
Gavin Skelly. Exactly what this team needed. Both ends of the floor.
7 quick points for Skelly at the opening 3. And is already up over his season average, and we're just getting underway here. Keita Bates-Diop and Lindsay.
We should make a tyke of him. Are we allowed to do?
Chris Collins, Anthony Gaines for the Buckeyes. Gaines gives it back up to McIntosh. And here's Skelly again. Oh, Skelly had a mismatch there with Jackson. He passed it up. Long-range 3 for Lindsay. Tough shot with plenty of time on the shot clock for Scotty Lindsay.
Not feeling that one. He had 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Potter and Pardon bang it inside. Here's Williams now on the take. Easy to the rack. Found the seam in the Northwestern defense.
That was a nice relocation pass there. Created the seam. Zone's got to move quicker than that.
Ohio State has been a much better defensive team than I think their coach thought they would be. Well, when your best player, Keita Bates-Diop, is your best defender, it's easy for the others to buy in. There's not a whole lot of room for Northwestern to work. On the other end, here's Williams. McIntosh on him. Chris Collins said this zone was just something. He's not exactly a fan of the zone, but figured he just needed a change as Bates-Diop follows his own miss and is on the board again.
That's part of the problem, of course, playing the zone is the defensive backboards, but I know Chris Collins not a fan of zone, but he's also not a fan of losing.
Right.
And whatever you're doing while you're losing is obviously not working.
I said, this is just a chance for me to kind of mix things up a little bit. Skelly comes up short on the 3.
This is what Northwestern has a tendency to do, become too much of a jump shooting team, and they lose Pardon. Pardon's got to catch the ball almost every possession.
Good look from Jallo finding.
About getting on these roads out here. And I live in LA. It's hard to shock me.
Good to be in Chicago, and Chicago's Big Ten team, the Northwestern Wildcats, going back to Skelly. Comes up empty. Andrew Dockich on the floor for Ohio State with his dad, Dan, in attendance tonight. Dockich has been
Was that what the paparazzi
nice
and the security was here
yes,
for?
Yes, a lot of security engaged in this one. Saw Dan holding court before the game. Got to be a proud papa. His son, the walking on of Michigan, is having a serious role here for Ohio State as McIntosh.
Play Andrew Dockich, 19 assists, 2 turnovers. That's not human.
Turnover this time. Ohio State gives it right back, and MSG.
Percentage-wise, it's the best free throw shooting team in the Big
Ten. Driving to the basket. They were 9 for 9 against Indiana. Your shot going when you're not scoring. Best place to do that from is the free throw line, and Lindsay could not get there or would not get there. Three-pointer comes up short. Jackson's missed a couple, and the rebound by Benson. Ohio State 0 for 5 from behind the arc now.
And another good defensive rebound out of the zone. That's the one place where you're playing against the zone, you should be able to get to the offensive backboards.
Ash gives it up to Lindsay. Jackson working on Lindsay. Feels like a matchup Northwestern could exploit a bit. Inside. Barrett Benson, not really known for his offense, and he turns it over. And it's taken right back. Tell you, Northwestern is tightened down defensively. Lindsey right on the floor. Throws it down.
Yes, sir. Elevation. And it starts with the freshman, Anthony Gaines, with the strip.
Snaps a long drought over 4 minutes without a field goal. Wesson answers on the other end.
Killer.
Andre Wesson, big bro this time, delivering. Seen his minutes rise as well as his conditioning has improved. Had an illness this summer, missed a lot of time. Jayshawn Tate on the attack. Tate gathers, can't finish. Ash pulls down the rebound. Much better pace going here in this second segment. Gaines wide open and too strong.
There's a reason.
McIntosh back on the floor to run the point.
Nice few minutes here from Chris Collins' bench, too. I like what Gaines got him.
Stripped by Jackson. Jackson trying to take it all the way, uses the body, gets the foul, and one.
Diop, but I would make C.J. Jackson 1A. Turnovers in that loss to Butler, and they blew a 15-point lead, and then 5 turnovers to Clemson, lost his starting spot, but 25 assists, 9 turnovers in Big Ten play. C.J. Jackson has been a huge spark for Buckeyes.
Long, short-range jumper. We'll keep it right here.
The players can clearly distinguish themselves as the best team in the Big Ten, arguably the best team in the country, Purdue right now.
Purdue at 7-0. 6 turnover on the other end for Northwestern. In the corner, here's Wesson. Comes up short. His brother trying to battle for the rebound, but Harden comes away with a board.
Northwestern has got to stop turning the ball over.
Lindsey misses again. Get it back. Second chance opportunity. Lindsey's going to fire, and Lindsey misses again. Now, when Ohio State started the season, there was a major concern with the ball handling. Who was going to handle that ball, especially when you get into late and close situations. Dockich has actually been one of the key figures in this picture for Chris Holtmann. They wouldn't have what you'd call a true point guard with any of these players, as Wesson to Wesson. And the big boy, Caleb, gets his own. And Northwestern finds themselves down 4 now as Ohio State keeps this run going. It is now a 13-3 run. Northwestern is 1 for their last 9. And have gone some serious droughts and turning the ball over. Law comes up short. There's Jackson with a rebound.
Jump shot. You know, last year Northwestern had such a sense of purpose. You know, they knew they had to play a certain way to win games. And they won just enough close games to get to the tournament. Lost that junkyard dog in them.
Jayshawn Tate, tough shot over Parham. He got him on the quick release. Header tonight. And here at All-State in Rosemont, Northwestern and Ohio State. First time the Buckeyes have been ranked. Scotty Lindsey, good play call out of the timeout. And Lindsey set up beautifully. Throws it down with a two-handed jam. He has 6 points now.
Not a coincidence that Chris Collins draws up a play that has Scotty Lindsey going to the rim. It's the second time doing that.
All 3 of his made baskets. Lindsey has come going to the basket. Lindsey had a dreadful shooting game against Indiana. Made just 1 basket, 1 for 15, just 2 points. Caleb Wesson with the big body, working on Parton who scores.
Derek Parton cannot handle Caleb Wesson down there. Anytime there's one-on-one coverage, that should be a deuce.
Chris Holtmann felt like the physicality of the Big Ten was wearing a little bit on Wesson. Here's Skelly again.
You look at their 4 losses, Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, Penn State, Indiana, combined 5 for 52 from the floor in those 4 losses. 1 free throw attempted in the 4 games.
Well, his presence means a lot as part of the game, other than mid-range and 3-point
games. You're not going to be shooting the ball that well. You're out of rhythm or whatever. The defense is keying on you. What's your plan B? What's your plan? Has a habit of just getting wrapped up too much in his jump shot.
Caleb Wesson with a couple of free throws. 6 points, 3 rebounds now for the former Ohio Mr. Basketball last year, a true freshman.
You can see Ohio State's defense, by the way. These guys are so locked in. This is a mismatch in the post.
Skelly and had the chair pulled out from under him. Skelly off to a good start. 3 for 5 to start this.
7 from three-point range. C.J. Jackson 0 for 3, so they're not exactly lighting it up, but Northwestern 7 turnovers, and then they just missed a couple of free throws.
Well, Vic Law, just 3 points. Brian McIntosh has not scored. Here's Dockich for 3. He doesn't shoot them often, but when he does shoot from behind the arc, he has been deadly this year.
He's selective on his outside shooting. I think he could be a little bit more aggressive. He's got a nice stroke.
Law yet from a coach is what Chris Holtman. He connects the coaching staff to the players, the individual players, the upperclassmen to the underclassmen.
And you know what I also like, Brian? I like that Chris Holtman plays Andrew Dockich and C.J. Jackson together. Those are 2 pass-first point guards. Some coaches are reluctant to do that, but I think playing 2 point guards together is a great way to play, especially when both of them are capable of knocking down shots as well. So it's really 2 combo guards playing next to each other, and it's been highly effective for them.
On the take goes Law, comes up short. And now Ohio State. Dockich looking to push it a little bit. Bates Diop, the centerpiece, with these 5 on the floor. This is the small lineup for Holtman that has been so effective, and maybe most effective on the defensive end, despite giving up the size. Williams, little runner, and Law flying high for the rebound. Poor shooting night again for Northwestern. Just 35%. They just 7. Skelly. He's got it. Friendly roll for Gavin Skelly. And he has 9 of Northwestern's 21.
So that's a good aggressive vibe from Northwestern tonight, Brian. And right now in this segment of the game, the sequence before, Vic Law had a great drive to the basket, didn't convert, but he's going downhill. It's a good mindset to carry against this team.
Jayshawn Tate soon to check back in. Andre Wesson to Bates Diop. Good cut by Jackson, denied. And Scare Airport. Iowa and Wisconsin in conference. The wealth here tonight. 10 field goals by 7 different players at this point, and an 8-point lead as we go under 3 minutes in this first half. McIntosh, he's been quiet. Comes up short. McIntosh just doesn't quite seem as explosive as he normally is. Caleb Wesson will launch a long 2, I should say. And he comes up short. Northwestern in desperate need of some offense. McIntosh on the tape. Stopped short. Had that partially blocked by Tate. Harden on the ground. Sequence. Take their word for it. Northwestern might have got a break. Here's Parton just inside the 3-point arc. Short. Tate pulls down the board.
Got to find a way to get Parton touches in the post. Just collapses the defense. You can kick it out. You can do so many things once the ball goes down there. Really, Parton, I think, has been Northwestern's most consistent player this season. He's certainly their most competitive.
And Parton and McIntosh are scoreless at this point. Kata Bates Diop with just 2 points. Here's Jackson again, and Jackson delivers a long 2. And the Ohio State lead is in double digits now. Lindsay. And the little floater comes up short. Cam Williams, and it's a steal by Gaines. Gaines gives it up. Here's Law up and under the rim. He scores. That is a much-needed steal and basket for Northwestern.
Anthony Gaines has given Northwestern some real quality minutes here this half.
7 points for Vic Law. All set up on the Gaines steal.
He's doing it at both ends. Make the steal, get in the open court, makes the right decision.
Bates Diop lost the handle. Ends up in the hands of Law. Another chance in transition for Northwestern. Here's Lindsay. Count it.
Defense creating offense. It can happen out of the zone if you're committed.
Chris Collins raving about his defense. kept him in the game at Indiana despite a very poor shooting first half. But the problems aren't defensively, even as they move into the zone. Bates-Diop gets deep, but he can't score. Potter there to clean it up. Micah Potter with the follow.
You talk about a team having an identity. Ohio State knows when they need something, they go to Bates-Diop. So he didn't get the bucket, but the close-range opportunity created the offensive putback opportunity for Potter.
But if you're Ohio State, you're up 8. Bates-Diop really hasn't gotten going yet in this one.
He's been quiet, but when they need one, they know where to go.
McIntosh as the clock ticks.
There he is.
Got to get it up quick, and I think it was late. Wave it off.
Wave it off, but they can look at it on the monitor. To beat good teams, and you've got an undefeated conference team in your building, or what's serving as your building for this year, your best players have to play well. And so for McIntosh and Parton, each of them to not score. Parton only 1 field goal attempt because his teammates don't do a good enough job getting in the ball. You're just not going to win games you need to win.
Well, the Cats close down defensively on Wesson. Empty possession for Ohio State to start this second half. And Northwestern is on the board first in this, but we've just been told here at halftime, or just at the half, that he was not, as Cam Williams delivers. Falzone is not going to play tonight. Got an injury to his side. He's been dealing with a lot of knee problems as well. That is a big loss. A deadly three-point shooter is Falzone. Looking for an answer. Nick Law. And Tate flying high for the
on those 12 field goals. I like that Northwestern threw it to Parton twice on their first 2 offensive possessions, the first time he scored.
Skelly has picked up his 3rd foul. Here's Williams again. Boy, he has got a sweet stroke and a little salute on his way down the floor as Cam Williams has hit a couple to get us started in the second half. Lead is up to 11 now for Ohio State.
It's a little early, but it could be some danger time here for Northwestern.
I'm with you. First 5 minutes here of this second half, the way Northwestern's been going, and that is a much-needed bucket for the Wildcats and Brian McIntosh.
Yeah, but if you're Northwestern, you don't want Cam Williams getting hot. He can explode in a hurry.
Cam Williams, a senior out of Baltimore, 48% three-point shooter, and 2 long-range missiles here in this second half.
Shooting 63% in Big Ten games is Williams.
Couldn't that award this year. You really didn't know what you were going to get from Bates-Diop, but he looks like a pro right now, and he has been the best player in the Big Ten at this point.
We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of his surgery. And it takes time to get back, but confidence that he's playing with and knowing that he's the guy.
Lindsey misses again. Northwestern has now missed their last 9 three-point tries. They made their first 2, 0 for 9.
Here feels like he has no choice but to leave him in, but a lot of time on that clock to play with 3 fouls.
One of the reasons Collins went to the zone was to try to protect the fouls. McIntosh gets himself open for 3. It's short. Well, if you've ever dealt with leg injuries, especially the kind of injuries that McIntosh is dealing with, you see a lot come up short on the long jump shots. Ankle and a knee right now, McIntosh is trying to work through. Caleb Wesson, little bully ball in there. Parton right with him, and that's a travel. Possessions. Turnover numbers are equal right now, 7 apiece. Good break inside. Parton finishes, and a foul. Good setup from Skelly. Parton cannot complete the three-point possession. First foul on Caleb Wesson, by the way. Trap comes for Bates-Diop. And now Northwestern in a trapping defense. And this is an Ohio State team that lacks ball handlers. Double team comes again. Now Jayshawn Tate. Shot clock down to 7. Ohio State looks out of sorts here. And a tough shot hits the neck. Skelly clears it. Here comes McIntosh.
Terrific defensive possession. Love the 1-3-1 trap.
McIntosh for 3 with the quick pull. Short again.
Just not what you need there.
Jackson will pull it back, get it organized. Bates-Diop has been relatively quiet here tonight. Jayshawn Tate, that's a good setup by Bates-Diop. Jayshawn Tate on the board.
I think it starts with the quick 3-pointer by McIntosh. I always felt like A bad shot is like an assist for the other team.
Especially a missed three-pointer.
All right, get him going.
McIntosh will set it up now. They switch it.
The slip to the goal should have Pardon there.
McIntosh gives it up. Lindsay kicks it right back out. And it's lost out. Ohio State very balanced here tonight. 5 players with at least 6 points. 8 players have a field goal. And at least 9 have a rebound. And here's Micah Potter goes under the rim and scores.
Carved up that 1-3-1. Hard to play that defense all the way out to the half-court line. Northwestern, a very small lineup right now with Skelly out.
Inside to Pardon, who throws another one down.
For him, getting him on the move, and even making the free throw.
3rd foul for Micah Potter.
Northwestern just kind of hanging around and hanging around.
Biggest question for Northwestern in a game like this, is there enough offense? They're going to play good defense. And this zone has really worked well for them. 3rd game they've broken the zone out, at least to this extent. Jackson, long-range 3. Wow. Whoa. C.J. Jackson from the deep range.
And that's just killer if you're Northwestern, because you have a really good defensive possession, a long contested 3 late in the shot clock, and it still goes in.
Jackson now with 9 points. That's his first made three-pointer. He shoots it at 43% from behind the arc. Ohio State has some guys that can knock him down from back there. Law on the take, trying to get to the corner, up and over Potter. He shook Jay-Sean Tate, and Vic Law with a little teardrop.
Pretty shot, not easy in traffic.
10-point game, Ohio State trying to maintain their perfect record in Big Ten play. They are 6-0. Last time Ohio State had a start like this, you go back to 2010, 2011. They started 11-0. Dockage hits another 3, and he's 2 for 2.
They just lost him. I think there was confusion moving from the zone to the man who had who, and nobody had Dockage in the corner. Miscommunication. They're trying to get it to Pardon on that screen and roll.
And the long Bates Diop pokes that out of the hands of Law. Gets the steal. Western trying to trap. Here's Potter now. Here's Dockage. Down inside. Bates Diop. Oh, pretty little reverse. Keita Bates Diop, and a good find by Dockage.
I'll tell you what, Keita Bates Diop is a leading scorer. Hail Mary pass doesn't go. And if they lose at home to Rutgers, which they beat by 4 points 2 games before that, they probably don't make the tournament. So all those good vibrations as we see Brian McIntosh finally making the 3. So whenever someone says, well, what's wrong with Northwestern this year? I think we forget that maybe there wasn't quite as much right with them last year as we remember in retrospect because of the way that it ended. And when you don't play with that same edge, that same sense of purpose, that same connectedness, and you forget what made you good in the first place, then you have the results that you've had for them this year. And let me make the opposite point. They played at Purdue in early December, and they led that game with less than 2 minutes to play. Purdue closes the game out on a 7-0 run. If Northwestern closes out that game, they're sitting here at 3-3 in the Big Ten with a win at Purdue. So that's the fine line between winning and losing. And too often this season, Northwestern's been on the wrong side of that line because they forgot what got them on the right side in the first place. That's what they're trying to rediscover.
Well, and it is something to watch, and it can turn quickly. But I tell you, right now, Ohio State has been the aggressor, and they have opened up a 14-point lead. Good answer by Gaines. A couple of three-pointers have fallen in the last few moments here for Northwestern, as Gaines, who hit a 3, just 1 3. It's only his 2nd of the year. He had been 1 for 14 from behind the arc until that made 3. Somewhere Northwestern has to find offense. Ohio State trying to put the hammer down on the road, though. Shot clock down to 7. And deflected by McIntosh. Ohio State Winners of 5 straight and 10 of their last 11. Takes over. A couple of three-pointers. McIntosh and Gaines have scored from behind the arc. And now another three goes from Law, short. Cam Williams. And he is fouled. Lost since November. That was a loss against North Carolina on December 23rd. And one of the hottest teams in the country and one of the great stories in college basketball this year. Chris Holtman in his first year coming from Butler, and he has Ohio State rolling right now. Wesson gives it right back to Potter, and Potter delivers a 3-ball.
Oh, that's just a killer right there. Northwestern doing everything it can to scrap and claw its way back, but you're 4 for 17 from 3. Hard to win this game if you don't make shots.
Potter hasn't missed. He's got 9 points on 4. But Chris Holtman feels like he's a guy that ultimately is only a sophomore. He could be a stretch player. He could shoot the 3 and be a weapon out there. McIntosh turns the corner. Too strong. Pardon the rebound. Another chance here for Northwestern. Here's Lindsay with a floater. Nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And a nice job by Derek Pardon, not only to chase down the offensive rebound, but to keep his balance, keep his full poise, and make the correct pass.
Dockich running the point now for Ohio State. Ohio State with 4 3-pointers this half. 4 of their 6 have come here in the first 10-plus minutes.
Potter. Northwestern, they start off in the zone and then they switch to the man.
Here's Tate. Had a block by Pardon. Buckeyes by 12. Northwestern with the ball as we approach the 9-minute mark. Here's Gaines. Gaines over Tate. Strong to the basket with Tate on him.
That young man's had a nice game, Brian Anderson. You got to force feed that young fella, Coach Collins.
Gaines with 6 points.
The big, strong kid, good defender. He's not a shooter, but when no one's making shots, you might as well roll with the young guy.
Getting a deep clock once again. Bullet pass inside. Wesson had a block by Skelly. Shot clock ticks. Down to 3. Tate gets one up off the glass and scores it with the shot clock at 2.
Skelly playing with those 3 fouls.
Lindsay dumps it down to Pardon. Across to Gaines. And
there
Gaines hits his second.
There he is.
Northwestern feeling like they're getting back in it. The crowd here trying to help him out. 8 points this half for Gaines. He's got 9 for the game. And what an answer by Micah Potter. His confidence starting to rise.
We should just let Anthony Gaines and Micah Potter play full court one-on-one the rest of the way. Every time you think Northwestern has something going.
Pardon inside, working on Potter. Wide open Gaines. They're going to let him fly again. Cannot hit.
Thought he'd never miss again. Skelly turned down an open 3. Wide open.
Dockich on the floor with C.J. Jackson. Oh, what a great pass. Potter with a quick release, and he is fouled.
Buckeyes had 10 assists.
He's not missed from the field yet. 5 for 5. He has 12 points. And Potter.
That's having a good feel for your club.
Potter playing with 3 fouls as well.
And I mentioned about Northwestern going to the tournament last year, Brian, and kind of losing that edge. Well, Ohio State kind of has that because they missed the tournament the last couple of years. They've had a lot of tumult in the program, guys leaving, coach getting fired in June. So they do have that sense of purpose, especially these seniors. And a guy like Jayshawn Tate could be hunting a shot a little bit more, maybe thinking about next year. He wants to win.
The one thing you see in Ohio State is Pardon gets the block on Keita Bates-Diop. Now Northwestern in transition, and now McIntosh will fire, and he hits.
There you go.
McIntosh getting his confidence back, and the stroke is coming back as well. He's hit 2 threes in the second half.
Second made 3 of the night. Now the crowd trying to get into it.
8 points this half from McIntosh.
See what Northwestern's doing defensively now. See if they switch into that man.
Andre Wesson on the floor with his younger brother Caleb.
Now they're in man.
Skelly's on him with 3 fouls, and he spins right through it. And Caleb Wesson puts the Buckeyes back up 10.
Ohio State's been really patient on offense tonight. You can see over time, week to week, month to month, they've gotten used to Chris Holtman's system, his expectations. They are clicking.
Wesson poked that out of the hands of Lindsey, who had a mismatch on Dockich.
5 seconds.
Shot clock ticks. Here comes McIntosh. Little runner, tough shot. And Bates Diop with the board. The Buckeyes tonight, 7 different players with 6 or more points. Dockich gives it right back. Jackson with an air ball. Off to the races they go. Gaines.
Back to him.
Gaines will take it himself. He's fouled. Lead. And Gaines, an 81% free throw shooter, knocks down the first.
Can't be trading baskets. Somehow put together a run or a spurt or something. Only 5 minutes to go here. Starting to get late.
Gaines 1 out of 2, has 10 points. One of his more productive nights for Northwestern, certainly in conference play. Jackson trying to get by Skelly, and he steps on the baseline.
This is the end of the floor that they struggle.
McIntosh has scored. Pretty clean game in the foul category for both. Law. And now McIntosh, number 3. No, comes up short. Didn't look like he ever quite had a handle on that one. Dockich will slow it down.
Ohio State's so good defensively tonight, Brian. Really good job walling up.
Yeah, both teams have actually been very good on the defensive end. Northwestern throwing a lot of different looks at Ohio State.
Now they're in man-to-man.
Wesson spins. Wesson has it blocked by Lindsey. Pushing it up ahead. Lindsey receives, and Lindsey, little finger roll, cannot connect. Now Bates Diop. He's on the move.
Everything but the make. Gracious.
Ohio State dodges a bullet. They have held Northwestern off. This is the way the year has gone for Ohio State. Bates Diop, catch. And it feels like Keita Bates Diop time now as we hit the home stretch. He has 10. McIntosh got it. Keita Bates Diop scoring on the last possession. The trap comes.
21 in three-point range.
They will try it again. Bates Diop trying to dribble his way out of it. Jackson gets the trap. Here's Dockich. Now Ohio State gets it across. And Tate will pull it back and run some clock. And Dockich will get it organized. 12 on the shot clock. Bates Diop moves off to his left. Dockich in the corner. Jackson for 3. Air ball. Twice now Jackson has fired up an air ball. Chance for Northwestern now. Law on the take. Shakes Tate. A little flop. And Vic Law scores. That was the delayed flop.
Yeah, that was... He flopped hard. Give him credit. Signs of life for Northwestern.
I wasn't sure what I was seeing right there. It looked like something came out on the floor on Jayshawn Tate. Only the second field goal of the half for Law, and Tate springs free. And the Buckeyes go back up 9.
Just trading. They've been trading baskets all throughout the second half.
There's Law again. Dockich on him. McIntosh for 3. Comes up short again. And it's going to be off Bates Diop. That'll be injury to the side. Hoping to play tonight. Will not. And the short-handed Wildcats. Law for 3. Big one. Comes up short. Skelly. Well, it's an eternity on this side of the floor. Here, Ohio State. Another 3. And this one goes. Vic Law delivers. 6-point game. 2-possession game.
Could have been an offensive foul on Bates Diop.
Bates Diop, air ball. Another one. Jayshawn Tate throws it right into the hands of Lindsey. Northwestern has an open door here. Momentum starting to swing a little. Dockich pokes it away from behind. Both teams with 5 fouls. And a turnover. Northwestern will...
Handling this pressure.
Long range three, short. Boy, early three in the clock as well.
Not good patience, Brian. You got plenty of time, a minute and a half.
Get the ball into the hands of Keita Bates-Diop.
Now you've got a foul to give.
Ohio State's turned it over 6 times this half.
So this is the right play, given the time and score, but when you have a foul to give, I'm not sure you're not better off using it now.
Shot clock to 5. Here's Dockage now. And now Jackson has to get one up quickly. Doesn't hit the rim. Northwestern in possession. On the move, under a minute.
Patience.
McIntosh looking for someone. Here's Lindsey, long three. And it goes! Scotty Lindsey buries a point game, and Jackson looked like he might have got away with a walk. He is
gamble as much as you want, try to go for a steal, because a foul is not a bad result.
And a good pass up ahead to Tate. They break the pressure, does Ohio State. Looking at free throw shooters now. Jackson, he's in a tough spot.
Not have to foul.
And Lindsey does foul him.
It's not bad.
Charlotte nails the first. Hits them both. Back up 5, the Buckeyes. Shot clock is off. Northwestern has to go quick. Down 5, McIntosh to the hole, and that's going to be a foul on Jayshawn Tate. For Ohio State. Next one, they'll put him in the bonus.
You don't need a 3 now. Ohio State overplays the 3. That driving lane should be there. If you get a clean look, take it.
McIntosh across. Good catch by Law. 4-3, air ball. And it's secured underneath by Wesson, and Ohio line. And Indiana on Sunday scored just 46 for the game. 1 out of 2. But Jackson gets his own.
That'll do it.
And Ohio State is going to go to 7-0 in conference. They join Purdue at the top to 16-4. And another road win for Chris Holt.